Hello. I know it's been a while since I did a video. That's because I was planning to stop doing them altogether. But I've decided to do one more. For one thing, I really loved the Mexican port of Topolobampo. Really fun word to say, Topolobampo. And I'm not sure that Jim liked it as much, and so I thought I would go ahead and include my thoughts on that. Secondly, when we were going from Mexico to Hawaii, we were at sea for about 8 days. And one of the things we did during that time was a cabin crawl. So I went and looked at a number of other people's cabins, mostly to see, how they had did space saving devices and things like that. But what I also saw was I liked some of their cabins better than our cabin. And so we checked it out, and there was an available cabin that both of us really liked, and so we decided to take the plunge and do a cabin switch. So I want to share that with you, and then I did a few random videos of Hawaii, so I'll share those too. Okay, here we go. Hey, friends and family. We wanted to share with you our new digs. So we moved our room from the 8th floor to the 7th floor. We still have a balcony room. In fact, it's larger than it was before. We have an extra little space through here, as well as the square footage is larger. We have a nice little table to go with our chairs. So it's really become a much more comfortable balcony. I also like it better because it's covered. Jim likes the sun, but I like the shade. So let's go inside. So the square footage inside here is about the same. So we gave up a few things to make the switch. We have the same size bed, but it fits a little tighter into the space. So we have to kind of hold our stomach in as we move in and out, but we can do that. We also gave up a good bit of bathroom space. So before, I don't know if you remember, we had a bathtub, we had a large shower area. Now we have maybe here, I'm gonna let you in there so you can show the shower. Now we have a more typical cruise bathroom. It only has one sink rather than two. There's no bathtub. There's less privacy in the commode, but it's absolutely functional for us, and it meant we have a lot more square feet. We have nice closet space here. It turns out it's quite adequate, and I really love this wood too. It's, I think, much prettier than the previous one. But the biggest advantage is the living space. So before, there was no room for a table and chairs. We had a desk. We still have a desk, but now Jim can work at this bar area, whereas he had no place to put his computer in the past. Again, we've got adequate drawer space, adequate closet space,
I
and
found
just a lot
Topolobampo to
more
be a
living
charming city.
space.
All of the
So
houses
I
were
think we're going to
painted bright
enjoy this new
pastel
cabin
colors.
a lot
There
more.
was some question as to whether or not the paint was given to them by the government or a
We're
wealthy
in
benefactor, but it
Topolo
came out
Bumpo.
as a just very charming look. I don't believe they'd ever had a cruise ship there before, so they were very welcoming to us. I also really enjoyed the beach at Topolobampo, which was called McKiri Beach. And Uber had dropped Jim and I off, and we couldn't see it from the drop off spot, but when we went over a dune, we saw the beach. And Jim's first reaction was, "Oh, this is a dud." And I was looking at it going, "Oh, this is an undiscovered gem." So I wound up taking a very long walk, about 4 miles altogether, up and down the beach. And Jim enjoyed reading his book on the beach. It was really comfortable that day with nice breezes. The sand is soft, easy to walk on. Um, The beach was very isolated with almost no people on it, and the further I went, the more discoveries I kept making. There were some thatched roof restaurants, which I understand have excellent food, but there was really nobody there when we were there. There were other thatched roof buildings. I'm not sure what they were for. We've been to several beaches that have been ranked as the top 10 in the world, and I think they missed this beach. This is a picture of Jim enjoying his book as he's sitting on the sand. The further I went, the more things I saw. Came upon some rocks in one area, but they didn't last long. I found some really neat driftwood along the way, and sand dunes came right down to the beach in some areas. Really very attractive, a few little grasses and bushes. A very interesting finding was some birds, and I'm not sure what they were doing there. As I came around a corner at the far end of the beach, I was able to get a view of our ship in the distance. So it seemed like it had been a long drive to get there, but by boat it was no distance. Another fascinating thing that I found were some birds flying, and there was just the most birds I've ever seen at one time. They just kept coming and coming. I'm not sure if they were migrating or where they were coming from. I watched them for a long time. I even asked one of our birder friends who lives on the to identify knew anything about why there were so many of them all going in one direction, and she wasn't sure either. So we ultimately left Topolobampo behind and traveled on to La Paz and Cabo San Lucas. Then we took the many-day cruise to get to Hawaii. And a few things happened during that cruise. First of all, there's the usual beautiful sunsets, and also the some beautiful moon shots on a really fun Hawaiian party and dance up on the deck. And I took a video of our dancers, the professional dancers on board the ship. So I enjoy watching them. I hope you enjoy them as well. The dance lasts about 2 minutes, so if you don't like to watch the dancing, just fast forward to the end of it. took excellent pictures throughout our trip around Oahu. I have a few videos here of the beaches just to give an idea of what the surf is like. There's all kinds of activities from swimming, surfing, snorkeling. Were absolutely wild in terms of the waves and just the power of the ocean. So I thought a video might show some of that better than the still pictures do. I especially enjoyed the snorkeling on Maui at Kanapali, and I was snorkeling at a place called Black Rock where I had a sea turtle encounter. I unfortunately didn't have the camera with me at the time, but two sea turtles were swimming in the water and they kept just coming right up to me. I had to almost, it was scary the way they were approaching me, but I guess they were as curious about me as I was about them. This is kind of an interesting video of a sea working its way back into the water from the land. And, you know, boy, carrying around that heavy shell on land might be no fun at all. You can tell this one is eager to get back into the water, but not so eager that it's moving very fast. That's for sure. We ended our Hawaiian adventure on the big island of Oahu, the big island of Hawaii, and we went to Volcano National Park where there's an active eruption. When we were there, we were only seeing smoke, but a few days later, it became fire and lava. The Volcanic National Park showed lots of examples of the lava flow that had formed the island and gone down to the sea. This picture shows at the far end the most southern portion of Hawaii and the most southern portion of the whole United States. Some of the rocks formed from the molten lava and minerals were really quite beautiful. And there was steam coming up from some of the fissures and the large craters that we visited. The following day on the Big Island, we took a nice walk. We are walking through Banyan State Park on our way to the Japanese gardens, and the banyan trees are just unbelievable. They are huge. They've been here mostly since about 1936. So there's a number of plaques on them saying when they were actually planted. And they are just so majestic. And the size is hard to describe.